Hi, kiddos. Here we are, January 19th. It's really going by, isn't it? So, January 19th, when I'm troubled by another person's behavior, a complicated situation, or a disappointing turn of events, Al-Anon reminds me that I don't have to take it personally. I'm not a victim of everything that happens unless I choose to see myself that way. Though things don't always go my way, I can accept what I cannot change and change what I can. Perhaps I can take a different view of my problems. If I accept them at face value without taking them personally, I may find that they are not problems at all, only things that have not gone as I would have liked. This change of attitude can help me free me to evaluate the situation realistically and move forward constructively. Boy, when I was reading that, my mind was racing. Did you guys get that? I'm going to read it again. It's really good, and it's exactly where I'm at. Oh God, is it crazy when you do these readings and they're like exactly where you're at in your life? Let's do this one again. When I'm troubled by another person's behavior, a complicated situation, or a disappointing turn of events, Al-Anon reminds me that I don't have to take it personally. I'm not a victim of everything that happens unless I choose to see myself that way. Though things don't always go my way, I can accept what I cannot change and change what I can. Perhaps I can take a different view of my problems. That is called a shift in perception. If I accept them at face value without taking them personally, I may find that they are not problems at all. I say that a lot. You know, I've said that before, that things that have happened in my life that seem like the very worst end up being the very best, right? I don't really know what's best for me. It's the way I'm looking at it. It's the problem. This change of attitude can help free me to evaluate the situation realistically and move forward constructively. Then it says today's reminder, blaming my discomfort on outside events can be a way to avoid facing the real cause, my own attitudes. I can see myself as a victim, or I can accept what is happening in my life and take responsibility for my response. I may be guided to take action or to sit still, but when I listen to the guidance of my higher power, I will no longer be the victim of my circumstances. Okay. Then there's a little, I never read these little quotes, but this one looks good. This was by Henry Ward Beecher. God asks no man whether he will accept life. That is not the choice. You must take it. The only choice is how. That reminds me of that meme I posted yesterday on my Instagram account. It said, let go or be dragged, right? So I've kind of figured this out my last few years of recovery. More so like with the pandemic, I think. So this is what I've come to, I've known this for a long time. You know, that's why when I first started doing this social media stuff, I called my blog Shift of Perception. And I use Shift of Perception all the time on my stuff. Because I've really found that that's what life is. I mean, I really didn't understand that before. That it's not really what happens to you, it's how you respond to it. And I saw that a lot in the pandemic. You know, when the pandemic hit, well, let's use alcoholics and addicts for example. And this might have happened in your life. Some alcoholics and addicts decided that it was a great example or a great opportunity to start drinking and using. You know, to really just get in the thick of it. You know, woe is me, the world is ending. You know, places are shutting down. I'm not making enough for my rent, you know, blah, blah, blah. And other alcoholics and addicts took it as, okay, what do? We're going to get on Zoom. We're going to start these virtual meetings. We're going to help people virtually. And I got to see that. And I thought, Jesus, what is that? And there was a lot of examples of it during the pandemic. You saw people that either closed their doors or changed the way they were doing things. There's this one place called Dear John's. It's in LA. and I've never been there, but I followed them on Instagram. For somehow they crossed my feed and it interested me. And it's an old Rat Pack LA type place, right? And it's got a lot of history in it. And the people that own it, I think they bought it. I don't know the whole history, but they're not the original owners. And they bought it and reopened it. And they did an amazing job, right? It doesn't look like much really, kind of from the outside, but it's a neat place. So I was following them long before the pandemic, and then the pandemic hit, and everybody's supposed to close. And it's a high-end place. You know, they have a chef, and they do tableside, Caesars, and the whole show, right? And so it's one of those places you go for a yummy special occasion dinner, So, and they got quite a following. So I saw places like that closed down. This place, within a short time, all of a sudden had TV dinners. They got the old-fashioned foil TV dinners from when I was a kid, and they made their signature dishes with the vegetable and the potato, and they boxed them and branded them, and you could order it online. Now, this is not a takeout business. This is not a business, but they shifted gears so fast. They did not decide, okay, that's it, we're done. All these years in business and we're just going to close. No, they came up with a genius idea. First thing, TV dinners were kind of that Rat Pack deal, right? And it's kind of vintage. It's kind of, it's kind of funny. And if you're a regular customer and you want that restaurant to survive, people were ordering these frozen, they were out all the time. And they did and then they did delivery. Then what they did was they took the inside is the ambiance, is all this artwork. It's all kind of a dark red, from what it seems like the pictures. That red with the black naga hide booths, from the, I don't want to date myself, but from back Rat Pack time, I'll say Rat Pack. And they had this art. So what they did was when they opened up and let people serve outside, they had an artist come and paint the wall on the side of the building outside the exact same interior if you were sitting inside. Like the art, there's pictures, and it's all painted on the side, and then they put the tables and the thing over the top and little candle lights. And so when you went to eat there, it was like you were eating inside, but you were outside. I mean, really clever stuff, right? That is recovery to me. That is, okay, you don't just throw in the towel. You look at it differently. There was another place here that was a little tiki bar. And I know you don't want to talk about alcohol, but I'm talking about shifting your perception. And this little tiki bar here in Palm Springs is old, that whole Rat Pack thing too, right? So it's got this vintage old tiki bar, like 6 people can fit in it. It's just this little place. It's super expensive, and people just jam themselves in there just to get one of these tiki drinks, some kind of custom drink that they got to smash and grind, and takes 4 hours to make a drink kind of thing. And it's real dark in there, and it's all tiki torches, and it's all for the show. It's an event. So places like that closed. Like, they're not going to survive, right? Well, this place made their little drinks and made special containers, these little tiki heads or something. It's a great bootlegger. And I think they called it bootlegger. And they made their signature drinks in these little tiki head cans or bottles or something, and they put them in little packs of 4. And they started selling them, and you could pick them up. You could go. They'd run them to your car, and you could pick them up, so that because you're at home and you're in the pandemic and you're out by your pool, but you can still be the schmoozy Palm Springs people you are, having these tiki lounge drinks by the pool. Well, those kind of things, because people were bored, really took off. Those kind of ideas are like a shift in perception. And when I was looking at Instagram, I seen what people were doing. People were either going to the dark side or they were going to the infinite possibility side, right? And I decided in my own recovery, I would go to the light. I was not going to go to the dark. And so I personally, my club room is a strong club room, right? I'm strong in recovery and I have to have people to help or I don't do well. So I immediately figured out Zoom and got the Zoom meeting going and then got people in charge of it so I didn't have to do anything, right? And I got that going and then I started a step group and I took a group of people through the steps. And I mean, I got really busy. Like, what can I do to help the world through this difficult time? And it was a growing period for me because I really got an opportunity to see, like, you don't always know what's going to happen. And you got to make the best of what's happening. Like, how are you going to react to it? How are you going to view things? You know, it's like a pair of glasses. The pair of glasses you have right now suck, right? When you're living with an alcoholic and addict and you've never heard of Al-Anon or Nuranon and you have no hope, you got bad glasses, right? You got the only glasses you got, which is the ones you're born with. But then you come to Al-Anon or Nuranon or CODA or ACOA and they give you a new pair of glasses and you put them on and it takes a while for the focus to get clear, right? To focus in. But pretty soon you see things in a different light. I think that's what they refer to when they talk about the psychic change you get from doing the steps. Right now, I'm taking a group. See, I wouldn't even be taking this group through the Al-Anon steps if it wasn't for the pandemic. I wouldn't have been doing anything. I probably would have just been doing the memes and thinking, oh, I wonder how I can reach more people. But really, you know, there was no fire under my ass. Well, the pandemic put fire under my ass, right? There are people dying in their own homes, locked in there, right? There are people being abused, but, you know, their abusers are, you know, we've got to do something, right? And so it's always that kind of pressure that causes change. You know, it's pressure in the rock, in the coal that makes the diamond, right? It's the pressure. So if you're under a lot of pressure, you're about to come out as a diamond. But you got to change your glasses. Now, when it says in the book here about, it says this one part, I may find that they're not problems at all, only that things haven't gone as I'd liked. This change of attitude will help free me. See, I'm incapable of doing that by myself. I have to be around people that are saying a different way. You know what I mean? They're pointing out the glass is half full. They're making lemonade out of lemons. I can't do it. If you stick me with a group of people that are bitching and moaning, I start bitching and moaning. That's just the way I am. I'm very careful about who I'm around, what information I put in my head. I am very careful about that because I'm like a little sponge, right? So I put good stuff in there. I want to be around the winners. I want to be around people that are moving in the same direction. I want to be with the Rock and Wagners. Those are the people that own Dear John. I want to be with the Tiki Bar people. I want to be with those kind of people. We saw that over and over, didn't we? Didn't you see? I'd love to hear your examples. I'm sure you saw people that did the same thing. They took a terrible situation and turned it around and tried to make the world a better place. And, you know, I love that. I hang on to that. I mean, sometimes life is so hard. That's all I have, right? Is to keep looking for the good, keep looking for the light, you know, for the people that are also trying to add to the stream of life, right? Let's see how we can make lemonade today. Because it's not always coming up roses. It's not. I know it's not. I'm not here to tell you it is. I'm here to tell you that you can change your glasses one day at a time and see things a little differently, regardless of what's going on in your life. Okay? I love you all. That was a fun one. I hope I hear from you. I'd love to hear some examples of what you saw people do that was like revolutionary during the pandemic. You know, go those people. Go. I am all for that. You know what I mean? Have a great day.